Welcome to Black Southern Belle Live. We're thrilled today to have with us our guest, Dr. Shaquana Cuttino, joining us from the beautiful Columbia, South Carolina. So, Dr. Shaquana Cuttino, tell us all about yourself.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, lovely Aisha. I'm so thrilled and honored to be here with you. My name is Dr. Shaquana Cuttino Jones. I am first and foremost a woman of God. I am a wife. I have four amazing children. I'm a licensed attorney in the state of South Carolina, and I'm a multiple six-figure income um, maker. Yes, ma'am.
Right. Well, we want to celebrate you today, but we also want to get to know the woman behind all those amazing accomplishments, right? So before we dive into your career and your law work, where were you born in Colombia or where in the South were you born? And tell us a little bit about how you feel about growing up in the South.
I when people would ask me where I'm from, I would always tell them that's a loaded question because I was born in Würzburg, Germany. I've lived
Oh,
in Fort Knox, Kentucky, Fort Benning, Georgia, Fort Stewart Airport. I've lived all over Michigan, you name it. My parents are from Georgetown, South Carolina, and so my roots are here in South Carolina. I went to college in Orangeburg, South Carolina at the one and only South Carolina State University. And so South Carolina is my home. I've built my law practice here. And just having parents from the South, having parents who have that history, that Gullah Geechee history. Oh man, it's nothing like being from the South.
exactly. And you know what's cool? Like I'm, born and bred in the South. But when I have my friends that I meet that are from other places, once you have that connection, and that's where you go to grandmama's house or where you go to the family reunion, that's what being a Southern Belle is all about,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. And I spent my summers in Georgetown, South Carolina. No matter where daddy was stationed, we was coming home. So
Yeah. My dad was in the Marine Corps, so I can relate to that. So,
absolutely.
what's the best part about the South? All these places you've been, you're well traveled. What
Thank
would you say is the best thing about the South?
the history, the culture, the folk tale that's passed down from generation to generation. I'm not hating on any part of the country, but I can't necessarily go to New York and get that.
I understand. So, we are glad that you have made the South your home and you come on home. So being in the South and being in South Carolina, and speaking of history, there's so much history in South Carolina. Was
Yes.
there anything historical that inspired you to practice law?
You know, there's racism everywhere, but of course, it's more prevalent in the South. It always has been. And just that quest still that we're on today for social justice, I wouldn't want to practice anywhere else
Mhm.
because when you're from a place, even though I moved around a lot, this is still my home. You want to make change where you're from and your home. And so just seeing the racial injustice, I think that we're last for a lot when it comes to children. And children are my heart. So I'm here to make a
Mhm.
lot of changes. I'm gonna start making a lot of good trouble, like the great late John Lewis said, especially when it comes to the children in South Carolina.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere your passion is definitely working with young girls.
Absolutely.
And so definitely want to hear more about that in the conversation. So,
Absolutely.
what made you decide to put your firm in South Carolina? Like, is South Carolina your permanent home or?
South Carolina is definitely my permanent home. It will not be my only home. I'm a Caribbean gal at heart. I love the Caribbean, so I plan on having a few homes in a few different islands, but South Carolina has my heart. And the funny thing is that we moved back to South Carolina when I was about 13 years old. So I
Mhm,
went to high school in Columbia, South Carolina. And I went
mhm,
to college, like I said, in Orangeburg, South Carolina. And I was ready to get out of South Carolina.
mhm.
So I went to law school at another HBCU in Louisiana. Um, But when I graduated, I was like, I'm ready to go back home. I missed South
Mm.
Carolina so, so much. And so I would not want to put my law firm anywhere else.
What is it like to be a Black woman and to practice law in South Carolina with all of that history and with like your family history being there and being a woman of color? Like, what's that like?
It's amazing because, first of all, the legal profession is a male dominated profession, Caucasian, white, male dominated. I think the statistics are like 3% of lawyers are Black women. And so, just to be in that percentage, it's an awesome, awesome responsibility. It's not about the glitz and glam of being an attorney. It's about the responsibility that I now have to my community, to my state. You
Mhm.
know, this is where my ancestors fought for so many of the rights that I enjoy today. And so it's a responsibility, Aisha.
Yeah. And like, how do you stay motivated and stay fancy and stay, because that's a big job, right?
It
So
is.
what keeps you going? How do you stay up?
Just knowing that there has to be someone fighting for the little guy. There has to be someone fighting for our people. And if not me, then who? If we all stood back and said, "No, I'm gonna take the easy cases," or "No, I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna back down from my calling," then who would actually be on the battlefield fighting the wars that we're supposed to fight? So I wake up every day motivated because I know that the people that I serve, they need me, they appreciate me, and I know that this is my place in God's kingdom. I'm operating in my purpose. So it's not hard to wake up ready to go. And I have an amazing law team. My dad is the office manager. And he is just amazing. Clients love him. My god sister is my paralegal, and they wake up ready to go. So it's easy. It's real easy.
Well, I want to kind of go into this entrepreneurship piece because you're not just a lawyer, right? Like you're not just a practicing lawyer at a firm trying to make partner. You built your own table. So now at what does it mean to have your own law firm? What do you think most people don't get about that?
Whew. There's a lot because I'm the only licensed attorney in that office. So while I have an amazing support staff, there's certain things that only I can do. And we all
Mhm.
know we can only be in one place at one time. So there's
Mhm.
a lot that has to go into having your own law firm. If you don't have an amazing staff, you don't have anything, right? We as lawyers, we're really only as good as our staff is. It's amazing in the sense that I get to pick who I represent. I don't work for the state. I get to choose who I represent, and that means a lot to me because I'm not gonna sell my soul. I'm not representing a certain subset of people. If you've done hurt a child, you can't come to me. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm not gonna do it. But I get to pick and choose the cases that matter to me. Um, and when you're doing stuff that matters to you, your purpose is fulfilled.
That's beautiful. And I love how you shouted out your father and your god sister. And before we were on the show, you shouted out your husband. Like having a family business is special. What
Mm.
advice do you have for women who are queendom building in a similar fashion, right? They want to build something where their entire family can benefit because that's really special, right?
It really is, Aisha. I would say use your supporting cast. If I need my mom to watch my children, she's gonna watch my children, or even my dad. While I do what I do, not only in the legal profession, but in the other business that I have. And so I would say use your supporting cast. Um, it's interesting because really I have two different family businesses and my family contributes in so many different ways to both of them. I went through college and law school as a single mom of two little girls, right? They were like 4 and 5 when I started out in college. So they
Mhm.
went to class with me when I didn't have anyone to babysit. And South Carolina State allowed that, right? I took one step and my HBCU took five with me. And so they grew up seeing this. So they have their opinions about different things that's going on in the media, social
Mhm.
justice, the Black Lives Matter, everything. And I can hear the young voices. right? Because I'm a millennial. And then my
Hmm.
children are, my girls are in college now, to their Generation Z, and Generation Z does not play.
Girl, do they not? I got one. I got one. I'm trying to get on back to school on Saturday. Girl, they
Mine
don't
goes
play.
back Friday, the other one goes back in January. So there's a lot that we're learning from Generation Z.
Okay. They don't work for cheap.
No, ma'am. And they are going to stand firm on what they believe in. It doesn't matter if it's in the middle of the pandemic. And so I can draw strength from that, right?
Mhm.
Because historically, in my profession, Black men and women were kind of told to hush when it came to certain issues. We're not hushing anymore. We're speaking
Mhm.
about it, right? We're
Mhm.
rallying. We're doing what we got to do. And a lot of that comes from my babies.
Right.
Yeah,
I like to think it came from us. We gave it to them and they
we
pushed it
did.
back and reflected
Yeah, I
on
agree.
us. So,
I agree.
definitely. And so, aside from your own kids, you founded this organization for girls,
Yeah,
and all of your girls are doing fantastic.
they
Tell
are.
us a little bit about that.
So the program that I founded with a nonprofit is called Our Little Princesses Incorporated, and I started it in, I think, 2007. And the mission statement was to promote self-esteem, self-motivation, and self-preservation in girls ages 2 through 17 by allowing them a chance to engage in the arts and other self-esteem building programs. So we taught modeling, we taught acting for the stage and television, music lessons, etiquette lessons. Etiquette is a lost art, in my opinion. And it was just all about building these young women's self-esteem, because I felt like a lot of the bad decisions that I made was because I lacked self-esteem. And
Mhm.
so the program was held on South Carolina State University campus. Those young ladies, in the 3.5 years that I was in college, they're now all graduated from high school. No teenage pregnancies, no high school dropouts. 98% of them are in college, and the other 2% are working in a different field. So that really feels good to know that I played a part in those girls' lives.
I love to hear how, for all of us, it's important that we, get back to our community. And I love to hear it. I'm curious as to now, like those girls, you've done your due diligence with them, you've moved over here, started this firm. So how do you intend to bring your heritage and your love for our culture and our people over as a business owner?
Listen, those young girls still, it's so funny, Aisha. When I was studying for the bar, those young ladies were calling me and saying, Miss Cuttino, you got this. You can do this. And they gave me so much strength, because I honestly didn't think I was gonna pass the bar in the first try. I was the mom. I had just had a baby,
But
right?
you did it though, right? On
Yes.
the first try
On
though,
the first
right?
try. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And so whenever they need me, I'm there. Whenever my community needs me, I'm there. All of our issues, all of our challenges, I'm here. I'm in the community. I'm not going to abandon my community. I'm here for the long call. And so whatever my people are going through, I'm going through it with them. They know Attorney Catino is out here fighting a good fight. Whatever it is, whether it's
How does your
children.
how does your family handle that, right? So you got these kids, you have this husband, this firm, this travel company, you have all these things. How do you balance it all and make sure everybody gets what they need?
I'm so blessed because my family is in it with me. My daughters grew up in it. So my oldest daughter, she's on a full ride scholarship. She wants to be a lawyer, right? My other
Mm.
daughter, she's going to be a teacher, and also do hair. My husband, he might as well go run for Congress or political office, because he knows more about politics than I do. And so it just works. I've been blessed to have a very, very supportive family who actually all love law and politics as well.
But it
So
seems like as a family, you all are just mission driven, right? Like as a family, right? I'm hearing a stream of like, hey, we're all in this together. We're all doing this
yeah,
work together. So that's beautiful.
yeah. Speaking of mission driven, my youngest daughter graduated from high school at age 16. Um,
You wouldn't believe this, but my son did too.
see, right? I told you, like I could feel the energy. She
Right.
had 3.8 GPA. My other daughter graduated early, so mission driven is correct. I can be working on a case needing to do research, and my girls will, and my husband will gladly help me research whatever. So
Yeah.
it's everybody doesn't have that though. I have a lot of colleagues who
But
um
my question, because I'm nosy, how you feel that? What you do, girl? Give us some notes. Give the Black
how do
Southern
I
Bells some notes. Maybe Southern Bells want to know.
well, let me tell you this. I also own a travel agency. So I believe in taking family vacations because
Mhm.
as much as we're in mission mode and we're all very driven, we still need a break and we still need to enjoy each other as a family. When you
Mhm.
see my husband, you see me. Like people would
That's
say,
what I say.
Shaquana, is he coming with you? He's my covering. Of course, he's coming with me. But we enjoy the beaches. We take family vacations. We play family games. I take my daughters on dates individually. My
Yeah.
sons are very young, and so when I come home, it's spin me around, mommy, spin me around. It's daddy horsey time. So we give
Mhm.
the kids their time. We give each other, our time, and it just works.
Okay, so we got it. Quality time, good trips,
Absolutely.
one-on-one time, family time,
Yeah. Family time is
prayer. I
very
hear you.
Family time is very important. Praying together is very important. My husband is the deacon of a church, and so we take our faith very very seriously. You got to give God His time. You got to put God in the midst of everything, and I completely believe that. And that's our tradition as Southerners. We're in the Bible Belt. We totally believe in the Lord. A good Lord will take you far. Yeah.
Exactly. So I guess my question is, you've done all these things, you just have all this stuff, all the things, which I'm super proud of you. Go ahead, sis. We
Thank
love to
you.
see it.
Thank you.
What's next? What else
Woo!
could you possibly do? Like what else is in there?
Well, I'm going to tell you first and exclusively, Our Little Princesses is going to relaunch. The girls have been asking, even though they're in college and stuff, and they'll be helping me out with the younger girls. Um, I believe in passing on wealth. I believe in teaching people how to build wealth in ways that
Mhm.
they never knew about before. So I'm going to be launching a university very, very soon. Y'all are the first to hear it. The team is working on it day and night. And I'm going to be passing out knowledge that can help take our people to the next level. Yeah.
Yes, that's beautiful. You have even though you've done so much, you have so much more to do, and I think
Yeah.
that we are all looking for you to shine, and like we all want to see that. I
Thank you so
want
much.
to ask you a final question.
Mhm.
Um, I've heard you say during our conversation that you share like what being a lawyer means, not just to you, but to your whole entire family. But you also
Right.
share as there are not a lot of young Black women today who are lawyers. If
Right.
you had a message for a
Mm.
young sister that may be in law school, or maybe they're working on their bachelor's and they're thinking about going to law school, what would you have to say to them?
Man, there's so much that I want to say in that situation. One of the main things, and I'm going to go into this profession for just a second, stay out of trouble. And you hear that, but when you know that you want to have a professional license, especially, stay out of trouble because there's something in the legal world called character and fitness. And you got to explain everything you've ever done in your life, including a speeding ticket. So stay out of trouble, stay focused, and call young lawyers like myself to intern. Come in and see what it's like, to walk a day in the life of an attorney. Make those connections now. Don't wait until you're studying for the bar. Make those connections. People like me would love to help guide you. That's just a piece of what I would say.
This has been such a great conversation. I have thoroughly enjoyed being able to talk to you. For those of us who want to keep up with you,
Ah,
what is the best way to reach out to you and connect?
So you can connect with me on Facebook at Cuttino Law, Cuttino. I'm also on Facebook as Dr. Shaquana Cuttino Jones. And my Instagram is something, y'all. I'm not really on Instagram that much. So just right now, Facebook is the best way to reach me. My office number is 803-542-7455. Again, 803-542-7455. And I'm licensed in the state of South Carolina, y'all.
You know what? I have one other question for you.
Ask away.
Where might we find you having lunch
Ah!
in Columbia, South Carolina? Where might we?
Listen, my dad always says, I know you're going down to that old restaurant of yours. I cannot, I don't know if it's Halls. They always say I pronounce it wrong. Paul's Chop House is like my favorite in Columbia right now. I'm a seafood connoisseur. I love seafood. And so I go there, I get my oysters on my lunch break. I get a great Caesar salad. That's my spot.
All right. Well, we'll be looking at you. We'll be looking for you over there at the Chop
Yes,
House.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Aisha. It has been such a pleasure. You're such a phenomenal woman. The people don't know. Listen, you've got all kind of awards. You're all in the community as well. I love it. Thank you so
Girl,
much.
this is about you and your work, and we are so glad to have you at BSB Live. Thanks for sharing your gifts with us.
Thank you so much for having me.